So the Middle Kingdom, I know you're there. Everyone on this webinar, the people who are tuning in, I know you're there, but I can't quite see you. So the Middle Kingdom is somewhat like that. It's the kingdom of the fairies and the undines and the fire spirits and the gremlins. And it's not visible to most people. It could be visible to 2-year-olds, perhaps, but it is there nevertheless. So I wanted to just speak about the intention of this webinar before we start. And that is, I'd like to see who is interested in this. I'd like to see who would like to be involved in thinking about this, participating. This is a possible evolution of Spirit Club that I ran for 8 years. And taking it online is a whole nother game, as you can all imagine. So I'd like to just bring this out. This is kind of an introduction, kind of look-see into Spirit Club for yourselves. And it's really for children 3 to about 10, going down to 9 now. And so that's perhaps what, I would like to get out of this. Perhaps people would want to host a Spirit Club, or maybe they would want to create a Spirit Club, even on face-to-face. So first of all, I want to say that I've been a pretty serious person. I studied the Gurdjieff work for 12 years. If anybody studied that, you do the work and you make efforts and you make super efforts and you go beyond yourself and you go beyond the accumulators and you go for the pseudo interval with the shock. So there's a lot that happens. And then I spent 4 years, Ron and I both, we spent 4 years with a non-dual teacher. That was a little bit of spiritual whiplash, going from lots of effortful work to non-duality. And then, of course, we had Vista Foundation. We led 20 people for 15 years in a really incredible, intensive spiritual journey. And then after that, worked with Barbara Marx Hubbard and Birth 2012. So I'm just saying this to you because the Middle Kingdom and the Fairy Kingdom is not something that is just like woo-woo. Absolutely not. I mean, I always showed the children this book. Here's Rudolf Steiner's book. I studied Rudolf Steiner. Here's a book. There's no pictures in it. And it's about the nature spirits. This is not just something that we are, making up and playing around with like we tend to do. So just a little bit about my Spirit Club background. And then I'm actually going to take you into Spirit Club. Instead of doing a whole resonance here, I thought I'd take you into Spirit Club and we'd do the ceremony together. And so I think that you might enjoy that. So just to tell you that at the age of 35, I bottomed out in my life and met a teacher. And I was doing pottery. I'm a potter, and I was doing shows and one-person shows, and even at Saks Fifth Avenue. And this teacher asked me to work with a group of children that were in this program. It was a program with the Gurdjieff work and other things combined. And he was the kind of teacher you didn't say no to. When I tell the children, I said he was the wizard, So you don't say no to wizards. So anyway, I said yes, and I tried it out, and I had no predisposition to it. My personality had no interest in children. I didn't like teaching them. I got babysitters for my children. I am not a children person. But I walked into this incredible place where I wasn't a child, and I was an elder, and I was actually kind of the fairy queen because I was an authority, but only naturally. So I spent many, many years in Spirit Club with children, and we built towns for fairies all over Connecticut and everywhere that we lived here, and had many, many, many great adventures together. So this kind of began as a prompting from outside myself and opened a door to something I didn't even know was there. Okay, so I'd like to take you into Spirit Club now. And so I'll be screen sharing with you. Is this going pretty well, Karen? Am I getting the screen share up?
I believe you are doing just perfect, darling. Great job.
Oh, you have no idea. I have all these hue fairies here with me. Okay.
We are filling the room with love and light. Thank you, everyone, typing in the chat. Please type in where you're watching from. We'd love to welcome you into this beautiful global family. Yay! Thanks for being here. Hi, Gina Marie. Hi, John. Yay! We're so happy you're here. Yeah, please share this out. Share this to all your timelines and your groups. And let's create Spirit Club online. It's going to be so fun.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you. So Spirit Club for Children. When I asked for the mission of Spirit Club for Children to the fairy world really was the fairies, and that world was initiate this club. And it did not do it so that the children come and learn anything specific. It was more, they wanted the children to come and help them help the world. And that is really that is the purpose of Spirit Club. It really is to help the fairies, the whole Middle Kingdom, to help them. And there's many different ways that can happen. Many ways, and recognition is a big way. The recognition of that kingdom, or the even consideration of it, does a lot. So I had gotten to discover the wonder of oneness, and we did discover that in some very funny ways. So the invitation really is right now to the parents and the grandparents and the uncles and the aunts. And originally the Spirit Club children got these invitations that you could see right here. This invitation is on a piece of paper, and I actually sent them in the mail. But children would get an invitation from the fairies, and they asked them to come to Spirit Club to build it, to put it together, to help awaken the world, to help, help with flowers and plants, to help with peace. You're going to hear all about that. So that's partly it. Here is some incredible folklore about it. So first of all, it all began with this amazing book, this feather book that you see up here, where I found this feather on my deck, and went looking for a book in my home because everything we need is at home, and found this book. So this was the beginning of the legends of Spirit Club. But it begins with when you come in, and I ask you all to enter, you'd be entering in, and first you would be hitting a gong, a big gong. And after that, you would come to a door, and I actually have the Spirit Club door. I haven't put that together yet, but you would come to a door, and at the door, you would have to say the magic word, okay? And that magic word, you would find out what it is, because there would be a little Spirit Club child at the door, and they would tell you the word. They'd whisper it to you. And folks, the magic word, they downloaded it. The children in the first Spirit Club, I sat them down together, and I said, what is the magic word? And it went on, and somebody said, well, please is a magic word, because they've been taught to say please. And then somebody said love is the magic word. And then there were a lot of things, funny things, but it turned out they all like love, please. So the magic word, only for this webinar right now, is love, please. So you would say that magic word, and then you'd walk down, sit down in Spirit Club. You'd be sitting on pillows in Spirit Club. And what would happen then is there would be a singing bowl ceremony like this. And, I would probably start it, and then each child would go around doing the singing bowl ceremony like that. And you can imagine 3-year-olds had a hard time. I had smaller singing bowls, but they didn't care. Ron, come in and tell, Ron, can you unmute yourself? Just like to have Ron tell you what went on with the singing bowl ceremony. If you've ever seen 20 kids be totally silent.
It was totally astonishing. We would sit in the circle, and the bowl would be passed around, starting with Victoria, and it would go from child to child, and each one had to perform that ceremony with a Tibetan bowl. And then, very quietly, they would pass it to the next one. Now, to imagine that all these children were respectful of each other, they passed the bowl from one to another in relative silence, to me was astonishing. It was astonishing. But that was something, that was a culture that was there. That was also, for me, a potential of something in the children, a respect, in a sense of unity that was always present. And this Tibetan bowl represented that. It was fantastic.
And since I had been trained with my mentor wizard, who had me not discipline the children in any way that was familiar. I had to give up every familiar way to discipline the children. Anything that would come to me first would have to be like stopped, like made a moment of stop, and then I would see what would come if I did not go ahead and say, please sit down, don't do that, don't come over here, don't take your shoes off, stop. Something would come up, magic, in the room, everywhere. Really, really incredible practice. So singing bowl ceremony, and then we'd have a very magic circle where there would be some kind of discussion about many things, that anything we'd want to discuss. This is where I think special guests came in because, for example, well, I'll put ahead here. Here's Barbara Muggs Hubbard for all of you at Spirit Club. There she is, right there. And she came to Spirit Club, and she was the fairy godmother. And that's what she said. She just sat down and she said, I am the fairy godmother. And Tori, my name is Spirit Club Tori recognized me, and she brought me here. And she told the children, she said to them, I want to know what you're going to do for the world. Perfect. Who else would say that? Barbara Muggs Hubbard, amazing. So, my vision is that we have, and I really would love to have people, I'd love to have the children be able to hear the frequency of the kind of people that we have on this call and many other people in the spiritual world, just to hear the frequency. And anybody who came to the Spirit Club took like a little bit of a persona. They became somebody. So here I have Nira is actually Karen. That's Karen spelled backwards without the K. So you can see here, I would probably introduce her, with her permission, as the kindest fairy in the whole Middle Kingdom. She does kindness magic and makes happy. She needs you to help with all the mean people to sing them into kindness. So, not Karen would be there, and she would speak just like that. She would bring that to them. And that would help them help the fairies, because they would have that kindness lesson. And then, of course, Deborah, we'll hear about her, amazing woman, from the UN Peace and Prayer Society of, years and years running that. So I kind of put here that we do this on September 21st, I think, the International Day of Peace, that Deborah would fly, that she comes around on peace flags. And at the twilight, she showers peace dust down. And so maybe these children would get a peace poem. Maybe there would be a time where they could shower that down. And Ilavi is Heidi. And Heidi, I think Karen too, are Hue fairies. Hue fairies are known for incredible industriousness, being very fast, doing many things. They're very sanguine. We'll talk about that. So she's a Hue fairy, and there are lots of them. And, perhaps Heidi would tell us how to recognize them. And then there's this other man. I don't know if he's on the call right now. This is John Raymer, but his name is Nozier. And Nozier is the keeper of the Nozier web. Like Indra's web? He's the keeper of the Nozier web, billions of points of light that connect the Middle Kingdom with the cosmos. And I would say that this is not really what he looks like. I would tell the children that that's a disguise. You can see him like that. But, if you really, really look, you could see what his real look is like. So that's kind of what went on in Fairy, in the Spirit Club, with the fairy world. And we always had a project, some kind of project that we did that had an arts project or many, many things you can only imagine after 8 years. So I wanted to share that with you. And because of, just to share that with you, so you get a feeling of what went on in Spirit Club. So let's see, how are we doing on time now? Okay. All right, pretty good. So I'm going to introduce now Deborah Moldow. And Deborah, well, as I said, I had to read. I read, the bios today for 3 hours. Everybody. Deborah is an interfaith minister, but she's also president of the Garden of Light. That's a website nonprofit website, and it's a gathering place for emerging global spirituality. And Deborah is on the pulse of that. She is on the pulse of that global spirituality. She's involved in every great and most great initiatives and events and people that that can be in the spiritual world. And she served for 20 years at the United Nations at the World Peace Prayer Society. May peace prevail on earth. 20 years, World Peace Prayer Society at the UN. And she's co-director of the Evolutionary Leaders. That's like who's who at the Academy Awards of the spiritual world. So Evolutionary Leaders, it's unbelievable. And a founding member of United Religions Initiative. If you haven't seen the United Religions Initiative, you should go and see it and join it, because it's a beautiful organization. And she's co-creative consultant of Unity Earth, which I'm part of that team. So I'm so honored, Deborah, to have your support in this initiative. Thank you so much. Please unmute yourself and come here.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Victoria. I really appreciated it. I am so touched by the work that you're doing and your impulse right now to revive this this wonderful initiative for children, the Spirit Club for children. I mean, I just say those words and I can feel in my heart how needed it is right now. I mentor a middle school child, and we were talking about an act of vandalism that some young people had done, a drive-by act of vandalism. And she said, "Oh, I know who did that. I saw it on Snapchat. They posted a video." And I thought, how are these young people growing up that they don't have any values, that they think it's fine to bully other children? I mean, my God, they hear about school shootings way too often, and probably some of them think there's a glamour to that, or, it's a little scary. And we know that children are being, on the one hand, over-prepared for life. Like they get soccer and piano lessons and like all kinds of enriched programs. But where do they find the awe and wonder of childhood? And how many of them get to play freely outdoors? When we were children, we weren't afraid to play in the grass. Now, Victoria and Ron and I, we all live in the Northeast. It's the tick capital of the world, and nobody goes out barefoot in the grass anymore. It's so sad. So there's something lacking. There's something missing. And so many of us adults, all those initiatives that Victoria was talking about that I'm involved in, so many of us adults are working for our own transformation and the transformation of consciousness that is going to keep us from falling off the edge of the 6th grade extinction here. This is really serious business. And yet, how are we preparing the children who are going to inherit this profoundly broken society that we live in? What do they need most? Yes, love and nurturing. I mean, of course, that's job 1. What's job 2? Is it the new math? No, it's the magic of childhood. That I found a friend in my house that I thought I would invite to this webinar. I've been clearing out my house, and I found this guy, and he woke something up in me. I just wanted to hold him and cuddle him and play with him, and I thought, oh my goodness, don't we all need that? We need to play. We need to be introduced to the Middle Kingdom that Victoria was telling us about. And it doesn't matter whether we believe in it or not. Children are wide open. They will just go right in and live there and make it their home. And hopefully they will keep that sense of wonder and that skill of using their imaginations. And they will take that into the very serious work that awaits them when they grow up. And they are confronted with all of the things in our society that need to evolve as we evolve into the next level of human consciousness. So I want to express my appreciation to Victoria and to everybody who's participating in this call, everybody who's watching, because it's up to us. I remember sitting in a teepee with Tiokasin Ghost Horse, who's a wonderful Native American elder. And he was talking about how everyone says that the solution to our problems is up to the next generations. And he said, no, it's not. It's up to the elders to teach the young ones. So I think we need to take that wisdom to heart. And thank you, Victoria. I really look forward to seeing what happens with the Spirit Club for Children. And I know that as it evolves, it will be part of the Garden of Light. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Deborah. And so true. Everything you say is just so true. Very, very true. And, you know, having worked with children with the fairy kingdom for 8 years, you can only imagine the kinds of things that come up. Like, I have to say, there was one little boy that used to come, this was actually Clayway. He was 8 years old. He read the Wall Street Journal. He sat in the corner and read the Wall Street Journal, I swear. And he wouldn't believe in fairy. He said, I don't believe in that. And so what happened was, you know, you can't make anybody believe anything. Not a good idea. So I said to him, no, okay, you can't. But listen, you know, do you know anything about architecture? Because we're trying to build this little building for the fairies, and we'd like to make it like a condominium or something. Boom, he's up. He's probably going to be an architect now. So anyway, he starts building these fairy things with us, and he's very good because he's bright and he's doing all this stuff. He was the first one leading everybody, telling us that the fairies were singing. All we have to do is get engaged. Another time, children often said to me, you know, my daddy doesn't believe in fairies. And I'd be like, oh, what am I going to do now, right? And I remember I said, thank you for grace, you know, really. Because I just said, well, a lot of people don't believe in fairies. I said, you know, in your life, there'll be a lot of people that won't believe in some things that you believe in, that are special to you, and you have to just hold those yourself, and you can't make anybody else believe, and you shouldn't be mad at them because they just have but you can do what you can do. And it was great. So, I mean, there is so much that can be done in those ages. And, you know, of course, Rudolf Steiner says that it's not for kids to believe in fairies or us to believe in fairies. It is the foundation. The Middle Kingdom is the foundation for these children to be able to transition into something greater than just this material body. That's where we lay the foundation there. That's why I had fairy tales for children. And then later on, it moves on to something else. Maybe it's to God, maybe it's to consciousness, but that's the foundation of magic and wonder, because consciousness and God are magic and wonder. So, you know, it's not to teach them to believe in it, but just they want to believe in it. We all do. We all do. So, okay, I'd like to share a little fun for you, share Florissa the Fish with you. So I'm going to have to screen share again. Let's see if we can do this. Florissa the Fish. And so. Okay. So this is a book that I did with my friend Ellen Mann, if she's on this call. Ellen, you're the best. We had so much fun doing this because I did the doodling, all the doodles that you see. Then we got together and it's like magic. It really is like fairyland, where you put color into all those little places. You can just click on them and put any color, millions of colors that you want into all those places. So this was amazing. And this is a story that started out when I was with my first teacher working hard to become something, something new. So once upon a time, in an ocean far, far away, there lived a fast, flashy fuchsia fish named Florissa. So I'm going to take a moment here and tell you that Rudolf Steiner, Four Temperaments, this book was based on the four temperaments I was studying. So these are the four characters that Rudolf Steiner talks about, the temperament. It's something that goes between your essential kernel, what we really are, and our hereditary characteristics. It's something essential, a temperament. Everybody has one side. There's good sides of each temperament, there's bad sides, everything is balanced. So Florissa is sanguine, and sanguine would be definitely like Heidi, and I think Karen. Sanguine children and adults are all over the place. They go from one thing to another. It appears that they don't have focus, but they really have focus. They just focus this much time here, then they go here, then they go here, then they go back here. And they're always moving. Physically, they're usually thin, have long faces, bright eyes. They're very communicative. And children are usually sanguine, but that's a sanguine person. A sanguine person, according to Steiner, if you're sanguine, the thing you need most is the love of another individual. Like, it's wonderful to have a teacher that loves a sanguine child. If your child is sanguine more than the others, sanguine children really need the love of one individual. And beautiful as Steiner is, you never go against the temperament. You don't try to make a sanguine child calm down. My teacher, my mentor was teaching me, they said, Victoria, you have to come up. They don't have to calm down. I had to come up. So sanguine children, if you want to work with them, you work with the sanguine. For example, in my studio, a sanguine child, they would be going over and I'd say, Heidi, before you get that brush, can you go over to the bucket and get that cloth on the bucket? Heidi starts walking there. Then I go, Heidi, wait a minute, get that, but on your way back, can you get me the knife tool over there? I really need the knife tool. And so she gets the knife tool. Like, don't forget to get the thing over there. By the time Heidi gets to her seat, she's calm. Because you out-sanguine children. But you know what? That puts a lot on the teacher. Whoever's doing this, you can only imagine the kind of demand and real integrity it puts on the teacher. So that's Florissa, and from the day she was born, all she wanted to do was get out of the place where she was. She had a dream, and every day she practiced. And there she is going up toward the light that she's dreaming about, but she couldn't seem to do it. And by the way, in the book, I tell all about these characters, because that's Sandy Seahorse, and he's a great man about town in the water. And that's Geraldine Jellyfish. She's Fanny Flounder's best friend, BBF. They're at the bottom of the ocean. So she just couldn't seem to do it, okay? Then along came Sam Sharp. Isn't he beautiful? Sam he's kind of like a metrosexual, they call him now. He's a very snappy dresser. He's a rapper. And by the way, I have his rap. We have the whole musical for Florissa. So he does a rap, and he comes along there. And he is a choleric. A choleric is a person whose ego body is very developed, not like the sanguine is the astral body, the emotions, color. Cholerics, the ego body is very strong. Napoleon, terrific choleric. Those people, usually they're small. They're not that big because the ego body has actually contained the physical body. Okay, so they're small. They're extremely opinionated. They're great leaders. Most CEO, visionary entrepreneurs, people say, oh, he always wants to do things his way. It's a choleric. Cholerics do things their way. And you want to have a choleric leading if you want to have something done. And you want to have people come around, charismatic, really great leaders. If they go too far, we all know they can become dictators. If a sanguine person goes too far, they can have a breakdown. They just too much, they just go out of their minds. So, Steiner goes into all this. Choleric children you have to get their respect. It's not to love, it's respect. So, my granddaughter, she was quite choleric when she was young, and I kept saying, I'm an expert in this. You have to be an expert in something. So there comes Sam Shark, and so he says, yo, Flo, how does it go? Asked Sam. Sam, I'm trying to go beyond this water into the place where the sparkling lights come from, said Florissa. Oh, Flo, don't you go. They'll eat you up there, don't you know? Rapped Sam. Florissa was so scared. So cholerics can be a little bullying. So Florissa swam down to the bottom of the ocean, and there lay Fanny Flounder. Why are you scared, Florissa? Fanny said, yawning. Oh, Fanny, I want to go beyond this ocean, and Sam Shark said they would eat me if I went up there, said Florissa. Fanny yawned and said, sweetheart, why do you want to do that? It's so much work. Why don't you just hang out here? Chill, relax, eat some shrimp. And that's Shirley Shrimp right here. That's Shirley Shrimp, and she learned to really move fast, so she never got eaten. So that's Shirley Shrimp. So Florissa lay down. She lay down like all those sanguine people are trying to relax and do nothing. She lay down and she tossed and turned and she said, this is boring. And again, she swam as hard as she could out of the water. And again, she couldn't seem to do it. She felt very sad. Along came Barney Bluefish. What's the matter, Florissa asked Barney. I tried to get over and over again beyond this watery world, and I can't seem to do it. Give it up, said Barney. It will break your heart. Anyone will tell you you are a fish and you're meant to live in the sea. So Barney is our beloved melancholic Woody Allen. That's why he's blue, Barney Bluefish. And melancholics are people who are very in the physical body, it's the emotional astral body for the sanguine, the ego body for the choleric. These are melancholics. They're in the physical body. They are very bent to suffering. They usually become cynical because they are very involved in suffering. On the other side, melancholics are empaths. If you want to have somebody give you sympathy or empathy, go to a melancholic. Do not go to a choleric. He'll say, get over it. She'll say, get over it. Just go beyond. Melancholics will say, what's the matter? How are you doing? How are you? So they are very based in their physical body, and usually there's a lot of ailments they have to overcome. It's their dharma, kind of. Oh, and here is Dow Turtle, and I can't talk about him because he's a mystique. He's mystique. Can't talk. So Florissa was about to give up when Electric Eel appeared and whispered, those are all lies. Don't believe them. Don't give up. Go further. He's kind of her spiritual friend on the path. He's somebody she's in a sangha with, perhaps. And he's very amazing. He says very little bit, but he's such a charge. Oh, in the corner here, this is Calvin Klein, just like Calvin Klein. He's the designer of fish scales. And he just kind of doesn't say much. He's very, very quiet. So he said, go further. Suddenly, out of the corner of her eye, Florissa saw a silver fish swimming faster than any fish she had ever seen. And then he was gone, out of the water. Florissa was stunned. She was breathless. The silver fish was back and about to swim away. Here, please come back, help me. I want to do what you just did, she screamed. The shiny silver fish with the blue sparkling eyes turned around just like that and came toward Florissa. Of course you do, Florissa, he said, because you are free and you are always meant to fly beyond the sea. But sir, I tried and tried, but I couldn't do it. Now you can, said Silverfish. Just follow me and do what I do. Florissa followed the silverfish. It's a good thing she had practiced so she could keep up with him. When he got to the top of the ocean, she saw him unfold his wings of love. She saw that she also had wings of love. She opened her wings of love and flew out into the ocean, into the sparkling sunlight, and she lived happily ever after. Now, this ending here, just for you totally metaphysical people here. So this is what I received after I met Kenneth Mills. The other piece was early. I couldn't figure out how to get out of the water. I couldn't figure it out. And you know what? Okay, she tried and tried, and it didn't seem to work. Seem, watch that word, seem. Like there's an appearance and seeming of things, but it's not, what is the reality? It didn't seem to work. And of course she practiced and practiced, but then she found out she never have to practice because she had her wings of love. So this whole question of practice and attainment, that is such a big thing in the non-dual situation. But Dr. Mills had an incredible statement. It said, practice does not make perfect. It allows perfection to be revealed. So she did practice and she could swim fast, but she always had it in her. There was nothing that she could have done. She couldn't have developed it, organized it, transcended it. She just had to discover it. It's a discovery. So that was the Florissa story. And thank you for listening to it and being here with me. Heidi's. And see, okay. Thank you. And we're going to go stop screen share. Okay. All right. Thank you. How are we doing on time? Let me see. 7:37. All right. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. All right. So does anyone want to make a comment on Florissa? Please.
I just think it was so beautiful. And, you know, all the comments in the chat and all the people who are watching this are loving this so much. Thank you for sharing. We love this. Our world needs this more than anything. Our children need this. They need to feel safe to play again. I love that. You're so right, Gina Marie. And Judith McNeil says, this is the best. I hope you have story time all the time. Let's have story time all the time. This is so fun. And so yeah, let's do this. This is great, Spirit Club. I love this. We need this, and we need it in every corner of the planet. Yes. We need it in every corner of the planet.
Karen, angel, Hugh Fairy, kindness person. I'm going to introduce Karen. This is what, so she can speak a little bit. Karen is the founder of Echo Angel Enterprises, okay? And she's bringing kindness and compassion to all life experiences. Global kindness gone wild, go wild. Global kindness go wild. I would love the kids to hear that. I think that's a great thing. Online, on Land Kindness Revolution, she grew her social media reach to over 30,000 by herself with no paid advertising to almost 5 million in social reach with collaborative partners. I mean, who does? I can't even imagine. It's like, that's what happens when you're a Hugh Fairy, a master Hugh Fairy. Nobody can figure out how you'd even do it. I keep saying, how do we do this? Okay, in July 2018, Karen helped impact 3 million new viewers, 3 million in 3 days in a global social media campaign. So do you think she needs to speak?
That was our peace wave. And that was, again, that's a collaboration of all, yeah, it is the angels. You're right, Judith McNeils. It is the angels. You know, we have so much support. We have so much incredible support. And when we work together, we accomplish twice as much with half the work. I love that.
Well, we're here to help you. I know that. So she's, just because she does all this, you know, 30,000 people and 3 million, she's also award-winning songwriter and singer. I'm not going to go into all that. I told you, we could be talking for, I was reading.
My favorite thing is designing musical coloring books. That's my absolute favorite thing in the world. And I'm having so much fun doing that. And now we're working on a series of compassion and conservation. So we have our latest musical coloring book will be to help the giraffes and the bees.
You gotta love her. God. Okay. Well, her generous support and her genius and, you know, just is unparalleled, really. Okay, Karen, please speak to us some more.
Well, I just want to be so in so much gratitude for having me be a part of this beautiful circle. I'm so honored to be in all of your presence and to be growing this beautiful, beautiful movement together. I feel really, really honored and beyond blessed to be a part of all that's happening on the planet right now. I think that it's a dream come true. I'm working on bringing a musical to the schools that's going to be a year-long program that teaches compassion, gratitude, kindness, and peace education, called Kindness Changes Everything. And to me, kindness does change everything. And it's what our world needs more than anything right now. And what Deborah was saying about the children, we basically really need to create a space where they feel safe enough to express themselves. And I think that we have, and Heidi, I would love Heidi to share a little bit of this because she is such an expert in that. So I'll let you go share Heidi's information, and then we can maybe have circle, all talk together. You muted yourself, sweetie. I don't know why, but there you go. Try
Okay.
again.
Thank you, Heidi. So her spirit name is Ilavi. I love that, her fairy name. And well, again, unbelievable amount of talent, really. It's something. So she's an award-winning vocalist, guitar player, songwriter, actress, dancer, workshop artist, author, and teacher. And if you go on the website, you will see all that, because it's definitely there. And she's the founder for 7 years now. I think it's been going, International Children's Month. That's how I found her. I said, wow, somebody's running an International Children's Month. Maybe, I was in Costa Rica. Maybe I should call somebody. Who can I call? I'm thinking, who would not think this is totally nuts? I mean, fairies, spirit club. And I'm like, who can I call? Look, out of the blue, went right on my cell phone and texted Heidi and said, I want to talk to you about Spirit Club. And she texted me back, and from Costa Rica, we had this talk I still have all the notes. It's just amazing. So she is the director and co-founder of International Children's Month. The mission is children across the planet in love, care, and respect. Okay? Now, there's so many things that Heidi does that she can tell you a little bit more. She should just tell us what the life of a Hue fairy is like. Heidi's newest initiative is a Center for Advancement in Social Emotional Learning. And I don't know a lot about this, but it just sounds really, really exciting. I really would love to be part of it. I'd love to talk to parents about how they can not be on their cell phones at dinner with their little children, because the parents are on their cell phones and the kids are staring into space. And you could play with children at dinner. There's so much, we build roads out of sugar cubes. We do all sorts of things at dinner. It's a magical place. It's like a whole tapestry. So social emotional learning, it provides workshops and outreach work, and they certify teachers, and they have lots of tools for understanding, embodying social emotional learning. Social emotional learning. Take that in. I think it's amazing. So Heidi, International Month for Children, June. Welcome.
Well, you're all beautiful, and thank you for putting yourself out there, Victoria, Tori, and for all of you, really. It is truly the high heart time of, we need to be able to deliver what's going on in the world to the children in a way that's not going to freak them out. And it's really time to empower. It always has been. That's been the mission of International Children's Month. It's an empowerment, a free empowerment activity platform for all ages. And of course, every day is Children's Day. So it's a 365-day-a-year activity platform. We did a lot of water work. We've done a lot of planetary consciousness and just understanding love and ourselves in relation to our families and our community and our world. And so Spirit Club is a natural thing for us to support you on, Victoria, in every way. I am super duper busy. And so we really need people like yourself stepping up into the platform and taking a lead on things, moving it out there further. The children need us now. They really, really do. And so I invite, of course, Spirit Club is, well, I've got it on the website. It's launching in September, so I hope that's enough time. And us moving forward, I've got a group of actually teenage girls who want to do it. That 13-year-olds all want to do it, and so that's super fun. And I know Karen will have fun with it. And I'm sure Deborah will have fun with it. And Ron has fun with it all the time because you live together. So that's fabulous. What else do I need to tell you? Florissa the Fish is awesome. And I hope that you did send me a book in the mail, because I want to just like have a reading time where I just read it to the children this month at some point, even if it's towards the end of the month when we get home from our little water medicine consciousness tour music thing we're on. The Center for Advancement in Social Emotional Learning trains the trainers in how to create safe and brave space, how to become an island, how to make sure that their embodiment practices are so secure in themselves that nothing can shake them no matter what. And then on the other end, we are buffering all this fear and the things that are happening with the lockdowns with a development that we created called mandatory circle work, recovery circle work. So it's all about, you know, bringing it back into the child of love, care, and respect, and that they are safe and that we create this safe and brave space. This is the part they're missing, is that nobody has told them how to create inside of themselves this resilience, this empowerment, this pure love for self that emanates out and makes it safe for people. We are the ones who make this world safe. It's not putting the energy into the fear and the worry and the doubt and the negativity, because wherever we put our focus, our energy, that's where it flows to. That part doesn't need us. What needs us is love, care, and respect. And so here comes Bridger having his mommy talk. He's like, hey.
Yay, Bridger, look how beautiful you are.
Oh, thanks. We spent 8 hours in the car on our way to this convergence in Colorado.
Oh boy.
And then we're headed to World Peace and Prayer Day as a group representing International Children's Month and Love in Action, because that's what this whole year is about. Love in action. What does love look like, sound like, feel like, and what does it do? So on that note, I love you, and he's talking to me now and tells me he needs something, so you guys carry on and he can tell me that business. That's what always happens. I hope I answered the questions, and I love you for this whole thing, you guys.
And, you know, I wanted to just share something with Deborah, and I love this, you know, we started doing peace corners in our classroom. So we started doing, and I asked the children as part of Harmony Week to find a place in their house that they could create a peace corner in their home. And then they wrote about it and they shared about where their peace corner is and what they love about their peace corner. And then they started saying, I started sharing my peace corner with my mom and dad because I think they needed a peace corner. And it was just so beautiful. And it was just so lighthearted, and they were thanking me for creating a place where they could feel safe. And we did that in the classroom too. We made we did the Peace Pledge with the Children's Peace Pledge with the Peace Pledge Project. And we made a whole peace bulletin board. And it's just been incredible. So much inspiration and the work that you're doing, Deborah. Really excited to be collaborating on this with you and Tori and Ron and Heidi. It's going to be so much fun.
Thank you, Karen. That's awesome to start them to become proponents of peace from a very young age. That will never leave them. And they'll always have that resource to offer to others as well.
Beautiful.
Yes, and welcome Santosh from Nepal. We're so glad you're here. Heidi's giving you big thumbs up. We're so happy you're here. Yes, everyone, thank you for typing in that you're here. And please like the Vistar Foundation on Facebook so that you can get notified when we do go live. Also, please like International Children's Month because all of these pages are going to be helping you to create this Spirit Club as a virtual new global family. And Deborah, what are the pages for people to like on for your pages?
Garden of Light. On Facebook, it's A Garden of Light.
Beautiful.
And Unity Earth, because I think everyone will love the new Standing for Peace campaign.
Yes, beautiful.
Put yourself in the picture. There's a wonderful gallery of all the people who are standing for peace.
It's wonderful. Yes. So go to unity.earth and you can learn more about that. Also, I'll type that into the chat. But please like the pages. Are there any pages that you'd like people to like, Ron, on Facebook? You've got to unmute yourself.
No fear there. Yeah, no, you mentioned the Vistar Foundation, and that'll keep people informed of the initiatives, what we're doing now, and when we come out, that'll be great. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Karen. I was going to do all that. Thank you for doing that for me. That's beautiful. Yeah, I think that if what I'd like to know if anyone is interested, like if they're moved in some way, if this sounds good to them, just a hello, or something you have done, or something you wish to do, or some vision you have, or some wish, and some prayer. No prayer goes unanswered, about this, like Spirit Club for Children. So just you can go, and also my regular website, Victoria Friedman. You can go on there and message me or write something, or Vistar Foundation, and I will try to get a Spirit Club website up, and so we'll just see how it evolves, and how we'll be putting together some people and having some chat rooms about this, and see how it develops. And I wanted to say also, everything that everybody said, this is why I want you on the Spirit Club. I mean, everything that was said here, within, just put a certain way, like, developed in a way that is in a story way, like about peace or about kindness. I love the kindness part, and about music and everything. I mean, that's what I'm saying. When I was a Spirit Club, Oscar Mauro Casada came to Spirit Club. I mean, Alan Steinfeld came and talked about aliens, had to have a little coaching, not to scare anyone, but it was, it just was so, I love that part of it. I love the fact that children, normally they don't meet people like that. They go mainstream very much, and they don't meet them. So it's something that we could bring the people on this call, and the people tuning in, for sure, absolutely. And see if there's anything else I want to say here. See what time are we doing? Time. So yeah.
Let me share some of the comments for you, Victoria, because you have some beautiful comments that have been coming in, and would love to acknowledge Tammy Molina in New York. She says, this is a powerfully needed message and resource. I'm so grateful for all of you. This is such a special ending. I love this story. How do I get this story? Where do I buy these books?
Somebody help you with marketing. No, the book is on Amazon. Florissa the Fish is on Amazon. It's actually in a small version, but there's going to be a bigger version, because there's the other thing. We read the small version, my friend Ellen and I, and we really would like to contribute it somewhere. We haven't been able to do that yet because, we wanted to give it away because it's a small version. It is so cute. Everything is beautiful inside of it, and it's really fun. And so we'll have the regular size version coming up really soon. But this is the Florissa the Fish. It's on Amazon. All you have to put is Amazon Florissa the Fish. I guess there isn't more than one Florissa.
And we talked about having some kind of thing, right, with International Children's Month, Victoria, with a giveaway on there. So we're going to work that out somehow this month. We're going to be giving away a few books off International Children's Month to help.
Awesome.
Yes. I mean,
I also want to put out there that this isn't all on Victoria to do this Spirit Club for Children. If anybody who's listening would like to start a Spirit Club for Children, do
exactly. Yes.
Well, we will be actually, that's great that you opened that up, because I wanted to share with everybody that July 23rd is our second annual Camp Kindness Day. And we would love for anybody who has any kind of events going on during that time that they share, so we can put it up onto the website. It's Camp Kindness Day on the 23rd, and I'm going to be doing kindness and compassion, golden rule camps, how to treat other people, and the earth the way that we want to be treated. So that's going to be our summer camps this year. And we've got some really awesome things happening here in California. And I know Heidi's got some wonderful things going on. So maybe Heidi could share a little bit about what's happening for International Children's Month. You've got a beautiful global wave of love that's happening.
Right, June 21st at 1:11 p.m. in everyone's heart zone. We collectively come together to intention, send forth, and cultivate children across the planet in love, care, and respect for ourselves, our families, our communities, and our world. And this will be the 7th year. We brought that together to support World Peace and Prayer Day, which is also, the same day as the solstice. So it's also World Yoga Day that day also. So there's all kinds of wonderful things that have manifested out of these.
Giraffe Day too.
Oh,
It's
great.
World
We love
Giraffe
giraffes. We love giraffes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so International Children's Month runs this whole month all the way through to June. And we have different showcases that are happening from different people who have pitched in. The Peace Pledge is up there if you want to see what it looks like, along with all kinds of other different contributions that have happened in Florissa the Fish. Victoria, should we just announce a giveaway day right now? How about the 28th of June?
I don't know, Heidi, only because I have to figure out how they're going to publish, how printing it and everything.
Oh, I see. Okay. So in the meantime, I'm going to read it. And I think that, did you finish the whole, did you read the book from beginning to end today?
I didn't read the last 2 pages. I didn't do the bios.
Oh, okay.
We're thinking that Sam Shark is going to have his own spin-off, so we don't really know yet.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that idea.
He might be doing an album.
The whole thing is gorgeous. Okay, good. So
I just wanted to say that, I mean, as if this and when, if what, this moves forward, I really would like other people to be able to start spirit clubs, as I said, face-to-face or online. And somebody has been talking to me about producing content. So if somebody wanted to do it, we'd have everything in place, all the ceremonies and everything that could be done. And also, the thing about this, I really feel that this, has to be watched over to some degree, because we wouldn't want this to be, like go into the new age frothy world where everything is like visionary, and we start saying things that aren't true. Because one thing about children is they know authenticity. They really, really do. And I hope they still do, because they do. They did with me whenever there was authenticity, when I didn't react in my mechanical way, and I did something with more awareness or mindfulness, the whole room would light up. I mean, seriously, the room would light up. Like, example to you is one time a child jumped on top of a table. So, of course, the first thing I don't think of it. The first thing that comes to mind is the old way you'd say, get off the table. The new way that was for a while, it was tables are not for jumping. As teachers, we learned, you say tables, honey, are not for jumping. Okay, but I don't do any of that, and I just stand still. And I looked at the child and I said, what came to me, and it wouldn't be the same twice. This is not a how-to. It's the awareness, it's the consciousness that happens when we don't react mechanically in a situation. So a child jumps on the table, and I looked and I said, so how does it feel to be taller than me? The entire room lit up. I cannot tell you what happens. Lit up. Incredible. And then, of course, we had a clay studio, so there was a bucket of water, and children would take their hands. The first time it happened, I almost died, not being ready for this. They would take their hands full of clay and just stick them in the bucket of water, except it would go up their sleeves. I've got like 20 children, and their sleeves are all wet. And normally it's like, say, John, get out of that. Do not put your hands in the water. You're getting your sleeves all wet, right? Stop. I look at it. I take a look at his face. I see joy in his face. I buy 20 buckets. Every child got to take clay and put it in the water and smush the clay around till they were so happy that they were in bliss. So that all came from not doing that. So
I want to be in your club, Victoria.
So we can't.
Say you're in, Deborah. You're in.
I think Vista was kind of Spirit Club for children, for adults. Anyway, so what I'm saying is for all of you, it's that we need to keep it real. We need to understand things. We need to know what people wrote about it, like a Rudolf Steiner or somebody else. If we go too far, then it becomes like the commercials on TV. Once it becomes like that, it is useless. They will not listen. Just to tell you one more thing, like we had a time where we talked to the children. I talked to the children about making their beds in the morning, that the fairies are very industrious. And they are. Rudolf Steiner says, the way we work on ourselves to help the Middle Kingdom is we're cheerful and industrious. Cheerful, whether we like it or not. So the thing about that was, so I told the children that the fairies make their beds every morning and that they should make their beds. And the reason their hands don't obey them, the reason our hands don't obey us is because that's when we try to do something that's not creative. We do something that somebody told us to do or we learned to do in some way. It's not creative. So the hands don't obey us. And it's very important that our hands obey us because eventually we're going to have to write or put on lipstick and it's going to go all over, or, we won't be able to comb our hair. I mean, really, there's a lot of things we can't do if our hands don't obey us. So I said, now the reason the hands will obey you is if you're creative. So every morning, I asked the children if they'd make their beds the way the fairies asked them to, which is to make it in some creative way. Like you could take your blankets, I had to show them, and make the blanket into a big butterfly, like you tie a scarf around the middle, so it's like a big butterfly. Or it's a Tootsie Roll. You roll up your blanket, or there's 10 Tootsie Rolls, or it's a candy bar, or it's anything. And then what they did is the parents took pictures of it and brought them in. So this would be really great online to see all those beds. It was great. They really, really did it. Ron started making his bed in different ways every day.
I have to add here, I took this on for a year, and I enjoyed making my bed every morning. And it was absolutely a creative challenge. It was beautiful. And I would stand back when it was done, and I was happy. I mean, it really changed the morning. So for a year, I did that.
Thank you, Ron. So all of you can try making beds. That would be nice if you don't make your bed. And so I think we've kind of come to an end of this really cheerful, very cheerful evening. And thank you so much, all of you. I just have so much respect and so much awe of all of you, and that you would consider helping with this and just encouraging me, encouraging this. And I really take it to heart, and I will. Oh, I'm sure it will just work on me incredibly. It already has. So I just, again, thank you so much. And you all look like fairies now. And thank you. And see each other again. And love, please. Magic.
Love, please. Agreed. Thank you, Karen, for hosting everything for everybody.
Blessings to all of you. I'm so grateful.
Thank you, everyone, for watching and for joining in spirit. Woo! That's what love in action looks like. This is what love in action looks like, sounds like, and feels like.
This is just the launch.
And this is just a facet.
This is just the launch.
I'm alive.
And let's all go to International Children's Month and make sure that we are involved in the global wave of love.
Oh, yes.
111 in your heart zone. I love that.
And the Garden of Light. I mean, this is the Garden of Light.
I'll be doing a live stream for that for Heidi. Also in California, we'll be doing a live stream, and Bob Challenger and I are going to be doing some stuff together also.
Great. Yes, and Deborah, we'll integrate Garden of Light into International Children's Month. Just let me know how you want to be up there, what you want to share about it, and we'll direct people to your Garden of Light, our Garden of Light also. That's wonderful.
Beautiful.
Yay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
And also, I just want to put in a last plug. After your beautiful events of June 21st, on June 23rd, there's going to be a Facebook Live direct from Colorado, from Sunrise Ranch, by the evolutionary leaders, reaching out to all the evolutionary leaders out there whom we know and don't know.
Great.
So please join us. This has never been done before. So
great.
That's for the grown-ups.
Deborah, let me know how I can help and serve with that. I would be honored to do some help really spread that live stream.
You are an evolutionary leader, Karen Palmer. Everyone on this call is.
That's an important.
And everybody
that's a really
listening and watching is.
Except I know it, right? We're surrounded by these amazing beings of light and love. So
So
beautiful.
this will be part of the sine wave, thanks to John Raymer, and we'll see you all there.
I love the bear. Give the bear a hug.
Awesome. One Love Rising.
Good night,
Everybody,
everybody.
much love.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we are still here. Paused. Wait a second. I got